One front office is just sitting, waiting for Boston to call. Every other front office is calling Boston about one player, and they're saying, stop it. We're going to do a rumor roundup right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis. Recap the madness every game, every practice. Primetime Depp and D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising business, how we finished. Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day, Monday through Friday. You get a free podcast dropped directly to your favorite podcasting app. You can watch the show on YouTube, get into the comments section, share your thoughts on all of these rumors. We're sitting here paying attention to everything so you can listen to this podcast and get up to date and get our takes on all of that. I'm John Karalis. I cover the Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. I've been doing some version of this job for 20 years covering the Celtics. I've written a couple books on the team. So I have a lot of fun talking and writing about the Boston Celtics. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. We're doing a rumor roundup. Later on, we'll get into Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday, who is more tradable in the eyes of the league. Our second segment is going to be on what's our second segment? I'm going to do this here. Oh, Derrick White. Here's Tom Westerholm here as I remind myself of the Derrick White's the interest around the league is in the second segment. We'll start with Tom on the Houston Rockets. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm it's funny to like create Celtics content at this time and not have like fresh stuff to talk about. Like this is weird.
It is weird. Yes.
Like they've been out for a whole series.
Yeah.
There's like a whole series has happened that did not involve them. It
has been odd. Weeks since it's been weeks since they've played. And it is
Austin Ames is gone. He's not even
he just packed up and left.
He's gone.
He went through one meeting about the future of this team and said, you know what? I'm out of here, man.
You know where I'm going? I'm going to this lottery team in Utah. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Jeez. I'm sitting here like Tom Hanks in Castaway. I have made podcasts. All right, so that's why this is a rumor roundup. There are rumors kind of floating around, and we're here to come on and kind of make some sense of them and see what is real. Where is this coming from? Well, so let's start with The Athletic and the rumor that the Houston Rockets are, quote, anticipating conversations with Boston's front office this offseason. What a fun way to say, yeah, we don't know. They're probably gonna talk on the phone. Yeah. But it opens up the door to say, okay, they're expecting Boston to call. First of all, they're not calling Boston. Like they're anticipating conversations. Maybe they are calling Boston. Maybe they are. But the Rockets are in a unique position here where they're the second seed in the West, but they very clearly were not good enough to live up to that second seed. Great season, right? Overshot their expectations. No one's surprised by that. Like I think this was, this was a really good year. They made the playoffs. They understood like, okay, this was a tough one. Now, where do they go from here? And I don't know if this rumor is going to necessarily be, hey, the Boston Celtics and Houston Rockets are talking about Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, maybe Sam Hauser. He seems to be a guy that would kind of fit what they need. I mean, you need shooting with that offensive team, but they need more defense. I think, Tom, when I hear Houston Rockets, I think more, hey, Boston, we need a third team. We need some salary maybe to match. We're going after Kevin Durant. We're going after Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're going after one of the big names that might move to be, the established centerpiece of this team. What can you throw in? I don't know that Houston is the number one trade partner. This rumor to me, if there is any fire, it's more the Celtics. How can they get in on, like, does Jock Landale move as a salary man and the Celtics be like, okay, we need to replace a big, maybe we'll take Jock Landale from you. We'll send out somebody, Sam Hauser, whoever, we'll work with you on that. I think that's more the direction this rumor would go.
Yeah, I could see that. I think, a Jrue Holiday would really be like, you could see how Ime Udoka would love having
him.
a Jrue Holiday.
Oh my God.
That's like just a magnificent Ime Udoka guy right there. I mean, magnificent basketball player.
Oh, sure.
Stop. But like, man, Ime would love that guy. And to your point, right? I think that like Houston, I think you're right though. Like Houston needs to be like big fish fishing, right? Like they're not fishing from the dock. Yeah, I think they're getting out in the middle of the ocean.
Sea, baby.
Yeah. They're going for something bigger. So like, I do think that if Houston, I think a rumor like that, right, is Houston kind of inviting the Celtics to say, like, listen, if you wanted to call us about Jaylen Brown and you wanted to have that bigger conversation,
sure,
we would like to hear from you if that's something that you would want to do, right? Like, I think that could be, or like maybe a little chum in the water, like, hey, like. Boston's calling us about Jaylen Brown, like like that kind of thing. I think like if Houston's trying to get in touch with Boston, I think you're definitely right. It could be like that third team thing, but I also think like there's going to be a lot of teams, and I don't like that are going to be looking at the Celtics and saying like, I really hope you do start calling about Jaylen, and if you do, we're expecting to hear from Boston. Would love to hear from Boston.
Yeah, so, I can see that too. I guess with Houston, it might be like one or the other. I don't see the salary dump, quote unquote salary dump move. I don't see Porzingis going to Houston. I don't see Holiday going to Houston. It's either an ancillary 3-4 team trade, or it's, hey, this is a gap year. This is like, you're going to have to do this at some point. Maybe you feel like you can do something with Jalen Green, you want to just change the color of the Jalen that you have and go from brown to green. Sure. And I'll have to change my autocorrect because I've added the Y to the Jalen, and now I have to take the Y out of the Jalen, and that would be annoying. But I don't think we're going down that route quite yet. No. But I can see your point. I can see your point where the Rockets are like, yeah, we get it. You're not doing this yet. But if the medical news comes back from Jayson and it's going to take longer than you think, then you do want to do the gap year. We're here to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there was that potential, not potential there. There was that Simmons had the Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday. You get back a bunch of stuff. Like there's stuff that you can do there. There's like a lot of guys, a lot of pieces. Houston's got a lot of interesting stuff, and even stuff that like if they traded it to the Celtics could potentially compete down the line with some of that stuff, like stuff that isn't just like full on rebuild. We give you the number 2 pick for Jaylen Brown, yada yada. Like there's like there's guys there, which I think makes them an interesting partner for the Celtics who need actual guys. Like it's not just a salary situation, right? This isn't just like we got to get off all this money. It's also like, but we have this very odd needle to thread where there's got to be a Tari Eason coming back, or somebody good coming back. So I think that's what makes a team like Houston so interesting, is that there is a lot of kind of flotsam and jetsam floating around that it's like, but it's good stuff. There's good flotsam and jetsam, not just like not just mediocre players.
Yeah, no, it would be interesting. I'm leaning away from the Jaylen Brown talk, and the next rumor is why the Derrick White stuff and how they're reacting to the Derrick White stuff is why. We'll get into that next.
Yep.
Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA Finals are here. And so there's going to be highlight-worthy performances in the finals. There's going to be big momentum shifts. Can't miss moments. There are going to be game-winning shots, breakout players. Now is the best time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it super easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. There are player props, performance trends, same-game parlays, and now you have more ways to win than ever. You can play smart. You can win big. The thing about the NBA Finals, or maybe the Stanley Cup Finals if you're into the hockey or whatever, you can watch the game. You can get a sense of where the momentum is going. And then as you track those trends, which you can do on the FanDuel app, you can go in and place your live prop bets. You can place your live bets. You can do a same-game parlay. You can wait. You don't have to go into a game with a bet in hand. You can wait to see the game start and then go in and see something and go, okay, I like this happening in the second half, or so on. If you're new to FanDuel, this is the perfect time to sign up. You can head over to FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet. When it wins, I'm confident in you. When it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make it a good first $5 bet. You'll get those 200 in bonus bets. Make sure you set your limits, set your budget. When you first sign in, they will ask you to set that budget, set your limit. Gamble responsibly. You're an adult. You can do what you want to do with your money. Just make sure you're setting a good limit so you're only using your disposable income. Let's just have fun here. Let's not go overboard. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Locked On NBA has two podcasts on the feed, Locked On NBA and Locked On NBA Game Night. Both are going all out covering the NBA Finals this week. And then on Friday, the day after the game, it's Jake Madison, breaking down everything from game one. So make sure you're subscribed to that podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Rumor number 2. And not necessarily, I don't think, a surprising rumor, comes from Hoops Hype Michael Scotto, who says calls to the Celtics about Derrick White are being rebuffed and not buffed.
No.
Because not, and it's a Colorado Buffs joke there for you. It's rebuffed.
Right.
I guess, whatever. I don't have a second joke. And that first one sucked. The Celtics are seemingly not taking calls, not interested in trading Derrick White, which tells me, A, they like him, obviously. It's not that he is untouchable. It's that they're not in the mindset to trade him. We've said this before, Tom. Once Derrick White moves, that tells me, if he moves this season, it tells me Jayson's not coming back.
Yep.
So if they're like, we're not taking these calls on Derrick White just yet, it means to me that there's optimism about this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at just the evidence that we have in front of us right now, right, is that Tatum, within 12 hours, got in there for his surgery. That's encouraging, right? Beyond that, it's too early to really know anything about anything with him. So, like, as long as that's the case, there's really not a lot of reason. This is not the time to blow it up right now. There are not enough indicators to blow it up. If you do end up blowing it up, I promise you there will be teams who are interested in Derrick White. I promise you there will be teams who are interested in Jaylen Brown. You can do those things if you need to, but like, at this stage, I know, so I 100% understand why teams are calling about Derrick White.
Absolutely.
I myself would, like, if I was any GM for any team, give me that guy, please. But like, also, just as of right now, I just don't see that being something that the Celtics are really trying to do. He's too good. And even if we assume that we have no idea how Tatum's stuff is going right now, if we assume that we have no idea at all, the default would be things are encouraging because he got in there quickly, and this was kind of an unprecedentedly positive situation in terms of getting things moving, right? So Yeah, I'm not particularly surprised to hear that Derrick White is not exactly on the chopping block yet.
And this goes to one of the things that I've been making sure to hammer home on what the Celtics can do and can't do this offseason. The point has to be hammered home that the Celtics don't have to get everything done by the beginning of the season. You can go into the season even over the second apron if you need to. You can make one move and have other moves lined up. If, let's just say, Jrue Holiday is your only move and you have others lined up, you can say, all right, we've gotten close and we know we have this 1, 2, 3 things we can do, and we'll dip under the second apron if we need to by the end of the season, by the trade deadline or whatever. And we'll be good. We'll accomplish a goal. But you can wait. So July 1st comes and something happens or nothing happens. You wait and wait and wait. I think the way the league is set up, the Kevin Durant domino has to fall. A Giannis Antetokounmpo domino, if it falls, has to fall. These other big names, the bigger names, have to fall first. And then the Celtics can figure out what's next. Maybe the Celtics, maybe we go back to that first segment, maybe the Celtics do enough on the fringes where they're like, okay, we've actually gotten close and we can keep, maybe you do go into the season with Jrue Holiday. Maybe you do figure out a way and you say, all right, we can wait until December 15th.
Yeah.
And start the process then if we need to, and just let Jayson hit these little benchmarks and see, are you a contender this year? Are you a contender next year? Are you a contender neither year? And then you're like, well, okay, let's flip that button and blow the whole thing up.
Yep.
So now is absolutely not the time to trade Derrick White. We have to be open to it at some point because this isn't going to last forever.
Right.
But now this is the optimistic portion of the summer that there is still hope, especially since like Cleveland didn't exactly make you shake in your boots, right? Like the Celtics blew a few games against Cleveland and Cleveland fizzled out. So no one in the East, as of right now, before any moves are made, no one in the East makes me go, oh, you really got to reload to keep up with that team. Maybe that changes, but right now, Brad Stevens like, okay, hold the line. We got to make some financial moves, but let's not go crazy.
No, things are shaping up nicely for the let's not go crazy and let's see what, like this. There's nobody, you're not like, if like, okay, like, Giannis might, if Giannis gets rehomed, it might be in the East. It might not be in the East. And, okay, then great. That's like, there's nothing scary about the Eastern Conference at all at the moment. I mean,
man, if he goes west, the East would just be like decimated.
Yeah.
Who would the best player in the East be? I mean, injured Jayson Tatum.
Next year, like
right.
Donovan Mitchell next year, like
Jaylen Brown is in the conversation for best player in the East if Giannis goes out west, right? Like Paolo Banchero is in there.
Sure.
Like Jalen Brunson, So like the gap between Jaylen Brown and the best player in the East is minimal to nothing.
Yeah,
you might have a top 2 or 3 player in the East just in Jaylen Brown. So if you have that, why would you blow it up now?
Yeah.
When you have options down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Like if that happens and you're like at that point, it makes no sense to blow it up because like also however Tatum comes back, that's going to be a big deal. Like I mean, that could be a big deal this season. So I don't think Derrick White's
I'm not counting. I'm nowhere near counting Tatum out for this upcoming season. I'm nowhere near counting him out. And I know that sounds like lunacy from some people, but we don't know. We don't know yet. Like we have to consider the possibility because of everything. And like people talking about this speed bridge procedure, that could be a game changer. That could be revolutionary. I don't want to go too deep in the weeds on this. All I'm saying is this
is not Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee. We don't need to go too deep on the speed bridge, but
right. But I'm saying there's enough there to make me say, don't go nuts.
For sure.
If the Celtics still do have to make a move. And now the question is, we've been saying Jrue Holiday, but is Kristaps Porzingis more tradable? There are rumors out there that people say, no, Porzingis should be the first domino to fall. We'll talk about that when we come back. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA Big Board if you want to get up to speed on the draft. You've got a couple of weeks before the draft hits, and so Rafael Barlow's got you covered on Locked On NBA Big Board. Locked On NBA Big Board. Available wherever you get your podcast. It's a great binge that, and you get caught up. There are rumors everywhere. Just the consensus, I think, around us is Holiday's the first domino to fall. Because maybe he makes more money, and I think he's more dependable.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's also like if you're for either of these guys, you're trading them to a good team, presumably. And if you're a good team, I would much rather have Jrue Holiday, because I know he's gonna be around probably. But I feel better about him being around.
Yes. And like in yesterday's podcast, we talked about how he'd be a great culture setter for the Utah Jazz. If the Utah Jazz, with Austin Ainge in power, you're looking to make, he talked about good teammates, good locker room, all of that stuff. What a great way to start all of that with then, what a better way than Jrue Holiday. Porzingis is such a wild card because when he is healthy, he is so good and can be such a matchup problem. We know that. The when he's healthy part has been so problematic, but expiring contract. So a team that's looking to maybe say, okay, look, we're going to take that big swing and we're okay. We're okay if it doesn't work, but we're willing to let him walk if it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, I think you could always talk yourself into the Kristaps Porzingis project too, right? It's just you can always just look at that and be like, oh man, but he shoots from so far away. You're you remember those conversations that we had over and over again? I mean, it's he shoots from so deep, and it's man, think about how far that drags the guy away from the rim. And it's you can always talk yourself into Kristaps Porzingis.
100%.
The rim protection, the blocked shots, all this stuff. It's great.
It's great.
You can even talk yourself into, right? How freak of these freak injuries can they possibly be? A generationally rare injury and a mystery illness that you could, of course, you could very easily talk yourself into it. I mean, if you're the Celtics, you could talk yourself into I don't know, maybe one more try. I don't know.
Of course.
Yeah. So I can see there being some value there. I mean, I think that value undervalues Jrue Holiday. If you're saying that you would rather have Kristaps Porzingis than Jrue Holiday, I think that undervalues Jrue Holiday. I think that doesn't take into account how malleable he has proven to be in that he this is a guy who scored 50 points in a game and then the next season came to the Celtics and was the perfect fifth player on a team and was just cool with it and just won and played defense. I think that guy is a little undervalued if you're a really good team and you would rather have Porzingis. But it's not like it's hard to talk yourself into taking on the Porzingis project.
And I think one of the reasons why I'm not dying to trade Porzingis away is the fact that he's an expiring contract.
Yeah.
And the Celtics I know are going to need to do this in phases. And so at 30, almost 31 million. If you just let him walk next year, or let's throw it out there. You bring him back on a reasonable deal and be like, buddy, you can do a lot, but you're never available. $10 million a year. And you're like, well, okay, $10 million a year for Porzingis, he can deal with. It's like the Jeff Green corollary. When he was here in Boston, he was like so overpaid, like, oh my God, Jeff Green's. And then he went and got a minimum deal somewhere, and they were like, oh, well, now he's properly paid, and he's amazing for what he makes.
Now he's underpaid, yeah.
Now he's underpaid.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to quit Porzingis myself. You know, I am, you know, Holiday is 34. He's at the tail end. I think you can more easily say, you know, maybe you're not getting exactly what you got from him, but what you got from him, you're not going to get from him anymore anyway.
Right.
So, like, okay, if you can move him and take back some lesser version of a guard and be like, we're trending down that way anyway at that guard position, you know, so this is easier for us, and you save a bunch of money in the process. Porzingis, it's like you roll the dice because you just talk yourself into, if you had him a normal Porzingis against the Knicks, you win that series.
Yeah.
I 100% believe you win that series.
Oh,
we could be talking about game 1 of the NBA Finals if Porzingis was healthy, but that's the drug. That's the dragon you're chasing with Porzingis. And it's, you know, and you're like, oh man, it's so good, but it's never as good as you think it is. Yeah. And it's kind of damaging to your psyche, but it's still there, man. And I still believe in it. So I kind of want to hold on to it for as long as possible, understanding that he might be gone this summer anyway. But yeah, man, I'm chasing that Porzingis high still.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think we might need some rehab, but it's the high is definitely there for sure.
Well, I mean, they try to make me go to rehab, and I say no. Anybody who gets that joke, thank you. We'll see. So I still think I think it's Holiday is the more tradable guy. All right, Tom, I think that's a good place to leave it. I apologize for people. My humor was not good today. Trade me to the Locked On Rockets podcast.
Can I tell you my can I tell you my I had a dream last night trade, which was I dreamed that the Celtics traded Jayson Tatum for Tyrese Halliburton. And I was like, that was a weird one because I really I woke up going through it in my head. I almost fired off a tweet. Like I was like, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let
that one roll around a little bit.
Yeah. Let that. No, it was just a dream.
It was.
Tom, thank you so much.
That. Somebody aggregate that.
Someone aggregate that. Celtics analysts dream trade. Jayson Tatum for Tyrese Halliburton.
That's it.
There it is. There it is. God, I landed one. Branding podcast on that. Thank you, Tom. Oh man, I needed that alley-oop from Tom Westerholm. Thank you so much. God, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. It sometimes can be work here, even though we're having a lot of fun. 5 days a week. It's free. 5 days a week, all through June, all through July. In August, we go down to 3 days a week. That lasts through September. October, we're back strong at 5 days a week. There's so much podcasting here. It's all free, and it's all available wherever you get podcasts. It's on YouTube. Watch the show there. Get into the comment section. And then I would love it if you're an everydayer, if you enjoy the show every Monday through Friday, please share the podcast and tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast. Here on the Locked On Podcast Network, it's your team every day.